Good morning, children. Today I am going to start a new chapter, the circulatory system, and today I am going to take only an introductory class about this topic. So, first of all, what is the meaning of circulatory system? See, circulatory system means first of all you should know what is the meaning of circulation. Circulation means the process of transporting the absorbed food, water and waste products from one place to another. This is circulation. And circulatory system, the heart and the blood vessels, both arteries and veins in animals through which the blood passes throughout the body is called the circulatory system. And there are generally different types of body fluid present in our body, and basically the types of body fluids are of three types. Okay, body fluids are of three types. Okay, first is blood, second is tissue fluid, and third is lymph. These are the three types of body fluid which are present in our body. Blood and lymph we'll discuss later on, and tissue fluid. This topic is not in detail in your course. So, what is tissue fluid? Basically, the fluid which is present in intercellular spaces is tissue fluid. Tissue fluid which is present in between the intercellular spaces, in between the cells, intercellular, or you can say intracellular spaces. Now, what is the purpose of tissue fluid? क्या करता है tissue fluid? What is the purpose of tissue fluid? Tissue fluid is similar to blood. Tissue fluid is similar to blood, but does not contain most of the cells found in blood. Even not, it contains plasma proteins. So, the role of tissue fluid is to transport and nutrient from the blood to the cells and to carry carbon dioxide and other waste back to the blood. So, this is the purpose of tissue fluid. And about these two topics, blood and lymph, we'll discuss later on in detail. Now, this is a first topic, body fluids. There's three types of body fluids are present: blood, tissue fluids and lymph. Second is types of circulatory system. Two types of circulatory systems are there: open circulatory system and closed circulatory system. Okay. Open circulatory system. Open circulatory system. In this type of circulatory system, the main blood vessels arise from heart and pour the blood into tissue spaces. Okay, in this type of circulatory system, the main blood vessels arising from heart and pour the blood into tissue spaces. Generally, open circulatory system is present in insect and small organisms. They has not closed circulatory system. They don't have a tube. They have drain-like structure moving throughout the body where transportation fluid flows. And about the closed circulatory system, in this type of system, the blood remains in the blood vessels and carried to various organs through vessels and capillaries, as just like in human beings and annelids and some molluscs. Okay. So, closed circulatory system consists of arteries, veins and capillaries. just like in human beings. And it's also present in annelida, just like in earthworm, and even present in some molluscs. Okay. Now, we'll discuss about some general characteristics of blood. General characteristics of blood. So, first is blood is red in color. Why blood is red in color? Because of the presence of pigment, that is hemoglobin. Blood is red in color because of the presence of this pigment, that is hemoglobin. And saltish in taste. Blood is saltish in taste. And it is a fluid connective tissue. And it helps in transportation in our body. It helps in transportation. So these are the general characteristics of blood. Blood is red in color. Blood is saltish in taste. Blood is fluid connective tissue. Blood helps in transportation in our body. Now, there are some important facts about blood. Like first, see, the heart pumps blood through a vast network of arteries and veins. Blood is a living fluid. It transports oxygen and other essential substances throughout the body, fights sickness, and performs other vital functions. So, there are some important facts about the blood. First is, blood is fluid connective tissue. Blood is composed of plasma, around 55%, and 45% formed elements, including like red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. And so, because of these living cells, these are suspended in the plasma. So, blood is considered as a fluid connective tissue, and it is the only fluid tissue in the body. Okay, so that's why this blood is fluid connective tissue. Second is, blood provides the body cells with oxygen and removes carbon dioxide. What happens? Blood absorbs oxygen from the air in the lungs. Then it transports the oxygen to cells throughout the body, and it removes waste carbon dioxide from the cells. So in the lungs, the carbon dioxide moves from the blood to the air and is exhaled. So in this way, exchange of gases occur. Next, blood transport nutrients and hormones. Blood transport nutrients and hormones. Blood plays a large role in digestion and endocrine system function, as I already explained you in the previous class, and the digestive system, how the nutrient get absorbed with the help of villi and secretion of hormones and all. So blood plays a large role in digestion and endocrine system functions. Digested nutrients are absorbed into the blood streams through capillaries in the villi that line in the small intestine. So these nutrients include glucose, amino acids, vitamins, minerals, and fatty acids. So blood also transports some hormones secreted by the endocrine system glands to target organs and tissues. Okay. Next is, blood regulate body temperature. Blood absorbs and distributes heat throughout the body. It helps to maintain homeostasis. Homeostasis means the stoppage of blood flow through a blood vessels or organ of the body. So through the release of conservation of warmth, blood vessels expand and contract, and they react to outside organisms, ठीक है ना, such as bacteria, and to internal hormones and chemical changes. So these actions move blood and heat closer to or farther from the skin where heat is lost. Next, platelets clot blood at the site of injury. When a blood vessel tears, platelets and plasma protein work together to stop blood loss. We'll discuss in brief about the clotting of blood in detail later on. So, when a blood vessel tears, your platelets and plasma proteins work together to stop blood loss. Okay, na? So, platelets, also called thrombocytes, clump and form a plug in the damaged area. So, the proteins form thread called fibrins to complete the platelets or clot. Next is blood bring waste products to the kidney and liver. Blood transport waste substances to the organs that remove and process them for elimination. Blood flows into the kidney through the renal arteries and out through the renal veins. See, this is a part of excretory system. When you study excretory system, you will understand how the blood get filtered out and all. So how the cleaning of blood occurs. Okay, na? So all these things you will understand better in excretory system. So basically, blood flows into the kidney through the renal arteries, out through the renal veins, and then the kidney filters substances such as urea, uric acid and creatinine out of the blood plasma and into the ureters. And the liver also removes toxins from the blood, and during digestion it cleans blood that has been enriched with vitamins before sending it back out to the rest of the body. Next is red blood cells are the most numerous living cells in the blood. As you know that red blood cells, also known as erythrocytes. So their primary function is to transport oxygen from the lungs to the cells of the body, and red blood cells are dish shaped and they are flexible and biconcave, flat and round with different centers. This is all about the structure of the blood and all. Then white blood cells protect the body from the pathogens. White blood cells, also called leukocytes, are the disease fighting components of blood. You know that white blood cells are the disease fighting components. So they account for just 1% of circulating blood but multiply during infection or inflammation. So there are 5 types of white blood cells. We will discuss in detail later on. So neutrophils are the most abundantly present in the blood and comprising 60 to 70% of all the white blood cells. So all over you can understand, now you're able to understand the functions of blood also, understanding all these 8 points. So I'll explain you in short also. Blood broadly performs 3 main functions. First is transportation. Second is regulation. And third is protection. So, blood performs 3 key functions. Transportation means it carries oxygen and nutrients to all the cells of the body. Carries oxygen and nutrients to all the cells of the body when they are used for the production of energy as well as for the storage. It carries even carbon dioxide produced in the tissues to the lungs and metabolic waste such as urea and uric acid to the kidney for excretion. And it transports hormones and antibodies from the cells that produce them to the target cells. Next is regulation, means it continuous circulation throughout the body helps to maintain the body temperature at 37 degrees centigrade through the proper distribution of the heat generated in our tissues. So it maintains fluid balance and controls the level of minerals such as sodium and potassium in the body. Okay. Next is protection. Protection, as you know, the WBC, white blood cells are present in the blood, protect us from disease causing germs by destroying them. And so platelets help in preventing the loss of blood through the process of clotting. So these are the functions of blood, and these are the some important facts about the blood. Okay, so in the next class I'll explain you about the blood in detail, different types of blood like RBC, WBC, and about platelets, and about the clotting and all. We'll discuss the next class in detail. This is all for today. Thank you.